Hello everybody, it's Eric Freeze. This video is not about the washing machine, but a quick update on the modern roll drill washing machine is it's not giving us any problems so far. Well, it did give me a problem. I set it to, I wanted to cut short a cycle because it did a bit too many rinses, so I set it to drain and spin. It drained, but it didn't spin. Instead, it just filled a tub, did another rinse, and then did a drain and spin. Yeah, that machine was somewhat annoying. I don't really like it for that reason, because it didn't tell it what I wanted it to do. I mean, it didn't do what I told it to do. Close enough. Anyway, here's our 2017 Frigidaire dehumidifier. It works somewhat. I've had two instances of the fan motor on this squealing randomly. I had one where I was down here doing laundry, started squealing at me for no apparent reason, so I cut power to it and refused to let it dry the basement out. So I have it sitting here, and then it did it. And then I came home from school one day, and I heard a loud squealing noise from the basement, and this thing was squealing its butt off. So I came down and shut it off again. We've also had an issue of this thing rattling its butt off. It may have something to do for me taking it apart and cleaning it, but it's not the only time I've seen this happen. I know someone else that has another one of these Frigidaire dehumidifiers, and it rattles very bad. It actually rattles a lot worse. This house is 110 years old, so the walls in this place are paper thin, and I can hear this thing from upstairs perfectly, especially at midnight. Sometimes I can even hear it from the second floor, which is 2 stories up from here, which is somewhat sad. This right here is a vintage Whirlpool dehumidifier, or Whirlpool. This one actually is good enough to show that name. This was actually originally a Kenmore front grill, and it was busted, so I put this one on. This is off of my childhood Whirlpool dehumidifier I have. I got this from some sort of family relative, and then the back bin is also off that Whirlpool because I didn't want to drill a hole in the original one to use for constant drain. The Whirlpool that the front grill and back pan came off of was my childhood dehumidifier. It sadly gave up the ghost about maybe a little over a year ago, and then since then I've just kind of been using several different dehumidifiers. The current one I've been using is a Martin Industries, and I seem to have good luck with that one. It has a really nice loud compressor on it, which I love. Reciprocating, obviously. This one here has a Seeger reciprocating compressor and a Fasco fan motor. No, Emerson fan motor. How to replace the fan motor on this one? It went bad. And I think the fan motor on this one is also out of that Whirlpool that the front grill and back pan came out of. So yeah, it has a good bit of parts from that old machine, and it still runs perfectly fine, no issues. The only thing I'm really gonna have to deal with is my father complaining about the use of a vintage dehumidifier, but hey, for the time being, it's here. And it's not doing anything wrong. It does its job pretty good. Here's a little expansion pipe I have to use for the Frigidaire. Frigidaire, I think it's starting to leak right here, because I've noticed its pan gets full occasionally. But once a month, this pan has filled up, and I had to empty it since we put it on the constant drain. We had the constant drain down here, and we could have just used it by itself, but I honestly like being able to empty the bucket and stuff. I also have plans on putting a lamp timer on it and letting this run for a few hours a day. Probably let it do one cycle in the morning and another cycle in the afternoon. Something like that. Get a good time of that Seeger reciprocating compressor though. It's an older Kenmore. This is actually pretty small. It's I think a 15 pint. That's a 60 pint. I'm just gonna leave it probably like halfway here and let it kick on if it needs to. I think this has R600 in it. I believe that's butane. I don't know. I don't really like how Whirlpool has their pan sets up. How their pan sets up on this. Because these always tend to have a bit of standing water in them at all times. Have a little look at the back of here. I'm gonna also get a filter put on this. It's already probably somewhat dirty on its back coil. Still actually hear the refrigerant go through. All aluminum, so no rusting on it. Typically, these Whirlpools, they had a standard coil on the back of them, but I think this one here in particular, being that it was smaller, they went with an aluminum coil, or maybe this is old enough to have an aluminum coil. I'm not necessarily sure what the reasoning behind that is, but the good thing is this thing will that was one of the failure points on another Whirlpool dehumidifier my friend owned, which is under the Comfort Air brand, and that's what made that one fail. Still dripping. I'll wait a bit for this to dry maybe, and then I'll show you actually show you the data now. It is a Kenmore cold spot. This has what type of refrigerant? Oops, I can't see. I think R12. So it says R12. I'm just going to drain some of this out. This has been running since, I think, late yesterday night when I brought it over here. If I can get this back grill back on. It does work, though. I'll try to get a start up of it quickly. It's a bit dirty. So there it is. This old Whirlpool Sears cold spot dehumidifier. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.